Good morning. Hey, I'm gonna work on this guitar today. I bought this guitar back in, I think, 1988 in California. I want to say it was the Santa Ana, California Guitar Center. I was there with my buddy. He said, "Man, you should buy that guitar." Back then I actually had some money. So we pulled it off the shelf. They used to keep those things about 20 feet up in the air, so you had to get somebody to get it down, and played it for a few minutes. I said, okay, I'll buy that. And now it's almost 30 years old. But I played it the other day. I put Texas Specials in it, custom shop Texas Specials, years ago, probably 17 years ago. And they really do sound good. Some people don't like them, but they sound good in this guitar. And if you notice, this is a 57 reissue. In 57, they had this kind of cheap looking single ply pickguard, and they also didn't put any shielding in it. Not much. There might be some shielding. I'll be kind of interested to see if there's something around the control cavity, but I don't think there is. So I was playing it the other day, and I've got all this computer, radio and electromagnetic interference from my computer, and this guitar was really a lot noisier than my other guitars. And then it dawned on me that it doesn't have the shielding. So I went to Guitar Fetish, bought a plate. There it is. An aluminum plate that should just fit right there like that, and not on top, but I'll show you. It's a pretty simple operation, and that should get me at least to where the noise is on my 64. The 64 came with a factory plate on it, so in 57 they didn't have anything. Some people will go to the trouble of putting shielding tape in the routing, the pickup cavities and everything, and I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to do like the factory. All you have to do is take the knobs off. I'll have to get them off a little later. Not the easiest things to come off. Take the knobs off, unscrew the pots, unscrew the switch. I'm not sure about the pickups. Hopefully it just fits. I might have to unscrew the pickups too. And then you just, when you put the pots back on, it holds this on. It's kind of loose everywhere else, but it should, shield it from all those Bluetooth and waves. I don't know. These things pick up all kinds of frequencies, radio. That's what we're going to do today. Okay, I got the knobs off. Shoot, they hadn't been off in a while. I had to take this little screwdriver and work it under there, and then use a butter knife. They do have knob pullers, which I don't have one, but they'd be handy sometimes. A little more, keep you from scratching things up. A little more practical. But I also wanted to point out that this is not the original neck. The original neck that these came with, real thin. I don't know why Fender does that. They think they can improve on a classic, but either way, it was a super thin neck. I don't think that's the way they were in 1957, so I bought this aftermarket neck. The finish is all worn off. They didn't put much of a finish on it, and it really needs a refret, but it's a good neck. It's a real solid, beefy thing. Super solid. Well, let's see what this looks like. I haven't taken this thing apart in quite some time. There we go. You can see Custom Shop USA. It does have shielding around the plate, which is kind of interesting because you see the aluminum, because I was noticing I was getting a lot of switch noise, especially towards the neck pickup. I might spray this thing with some contact cleaner. Probably do the pots too. But there it is. See how we get this thing on there. It's going to go like this. Yeah. Oh shoot, yeah. Definitely going to have to take the pickups out. Darn it. Alright, I got the potentiometers out. Quite a bit of excess. Darn, what you call it, contact cleaner in there. I must have sprayed it too much over the years. This is the little aluminum plate they give you for shielding. Not much. I'll save that. It's a little thicker than, about the same. So I can see, I don't know if the contact cleaner kind of ate up the rubber grommet on this pickup. These look okay. They kind of deteriorate over the years. Hopefully I can reuse them. I think I have some new ones, but I have to take those off so I can get that pickguard. I think I'll clean it really well. And one thing I wanted to also mention, that the reason I didn't want to take the pickups off is because I finally got the things adjusted to where I like them. And it's always hard to get these darn things exactly where you had them, so I think I'm just going to put some kind of mark on each one, maybe a piece of tape, something to just show where I had them adjusted, so when I put them back in I can go right back to the exact same adjustment, height adjustment. Alright, you can see I put tape just right down to the pickguard, so see if they move a little bit. I just have to get it down to where it's even with the pickguard. Hopefully that works. Okay, pickguard is off and cleaned up. See how it's yellowed over the years here. But all I have to do now, looks like a perfect fit. Just put that on there, attach everything, just tighten it up, and I've got a full shield. Perfect fit. They have a few extra holes there for different hole configurations. Kind of wish it did have a hole here, because this thing seems to bow up a little bit. Okay, next step. Alright, I can see that some of my problem might be this ground right here. All the black wires on the pickups go to the ground. I didn't wire this. I had a guitar store put this in, like I said, 17, 18 years ago, because I didn't know much about wiring back then, but I just don't like the look of that ground. I am going to move these 3 black wires over to this ground. This one looks pretty nasty. It's probably okay, but looks like you struggled a little bit. Just stick them in here so it's grounded straight to the jack. Make sure that's good. That's real important, boy. You can get all kinds of strange effects if you don't have a good ground. And you always want to have some of this tubing. I don't know where you can order it. It usually comes with some pickup sets. But this is the tubing that they put in here. Sometimes they have springs. The bad part about this rubber tubing is it breaks down. And you want the spring, because if it's not springy, like this one's compressed and stays compressed, and this one's just gone. You can see that's just a mess. it won't, it'll just let your pickup float around even though you adjust the screw. You depend on this to push it down, especially on the bridge pickup when you don't want it real close to the strings. But I'm going to put some new tubing on a few of these. We'll see what happens. Shoot, really I don't like any of this wiring. I think he just left all the wire on there. I'm going to try to tie wrap these things so they look neat and shorten up those wires a little bit. You never want more wire than you need. A little bit, but not all of it. They should have been cut. I mean, it's just all wadded together there. So I got my soldering iron hot. Try to change these grounds right now. Well, I didn't expect to have to do any of this, but I mean, really poor quality soldering and wiring. You know, if he'd have taken a little bit of time, he'd have tie wrapped these things and put them all nice and neat, cut them the right length. Make it look like a real Fender. You know, I've got a kind of a mess here, but that's why it always helps to learn how to do it yourself. I mean, those wires should have been cut down at the beginning. Yeah, I just realized I don't ever show you guys the fun part. See, I got blood. I'm using a darn razor blade to trim this cloth wire. My kids can look at these years after I die and say, hey look, there's Grandpa's blood. But got my last wire here for the bridge pickup. This is the fun part if you like soldering. I don't know, I remember the guy's face, don't remember his name, but he did a horrible job. He just kind of threw the wires in there, bundled them up. I mean, you usually can't get away with that because the things are pretty tight in those cavities and you have to get them just right for the pickguard to fit correctly. And just kind of shove them. We got the ground, everything grounded all together. The ground wire that goes to the input jack. And the three pickups are all on the same solder blob. Just get this kind of neatly tucked in there and I'll probably put a tie wrap. I think I'll go get one right now. Tie wrap right here just to hold those together. Looks much better, huh? I got to cut this much wire off of each pickup. There's another one around here. That's a lot of excess wire that you don't need. Alright, I found my little tie wrap. Put that in there like that. A little bit of a cinch up there. In the old days, Fender just used masking tape, and the masking tape's still on. Alright, cool deal. Kind of glad I did this. What I have to do is try to get these darn things back in here, which should fit okay. I don't know if I should spray the pots, but all I have to do now is just put this in, everything to fit. I'm not sure what's going on right this second. Should just drop right down in there. That's these wires over here. That'll give you a lot of space in these things. I think that's it. I'll have to pull it out, see how it's not going down correctly. So could be these wires here, but and I just have to, hey, there it goes. Nice. Should just leave it. All I have to do is snug these nuts up here. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Good old lock washers to dig into that aluminum. And hopefully it's a little quieter. And we'll see what it sounds like a little later. Okay, there it is. Got it all back together. I played it already. Sounds great. I think this was cracked already, but I tighten this up a little bit too much and that's cracked. But it's solid. Knobs are on. This is what I don't like, the way these things pop up like that. They're notorious for doing that. But then in this whole process, I noticed that this is my most neglected guitar, and this nut, I think I stole it off of a guitar that needed a nut, and I put a funky one on this one, and now I really need to redo this thing, but it's on there. That's it. I think next video I'll do will be, this guitar is definitely quieter. Talk to you guys later.